In the early 20th century, a bold entrepreneur named James Buchanan Duke stood at the forefront of a revolution. With a glint in his eye and a mind for innovation, Duke harnessed the power of the Bonsack machine, turning the tedious craft of hand-rolling cigarettes into a spectacle of mass production. His company, American Tobacco, was poised to ignite the market with an affordable luxury, but the path ahead was shrouded in a haze of challenges. As anti-smoking sentiments flared, Duke's empire faced public outcry and legal battles. Yet, with each obstacle, his resolve hardened. He pioneered advertising techniques, painting cigarettes as symbols of sophistication and freedom, a siren call to consumers nationwide. Duke's breakthrough moment came like a strike of a match as he brokered a deal with the British to supply cigarettes to soldiers in the Boer War. This masterstroke not only secured his fortune, but also embedded smoking into the fabric of society, a vice turned virtue in the eyes of the world. The joy in Duke's triumph was real, yet beneath the surface, a darker narrative simmered. The health implications of smoking began to cloud the industry, and Duke's legacy would later grapple with the consequences of his success. In the early 20th century, a wave of innovation swept through America, and among the rising stars was a product that would become as iconic as it was controversial: the cigarette. It was a time of industrial magnates and unbridled capitalism, where the tobacco fields of Virginia and the Carolinas were about to give birth to a global phenomenon. The founders of these tobacco companies, men like James Buchanan Duke, were visionaries in their own right. But little did they know they were sowing the seeds of a public health crisis that would span over a century. Duke, with his American Tobacco Company, was a titan of industry, but he faced a market rife with challenges. Cigarettes were not yet the smoking method of choice, with cigars and pipes dominating the landscape. The turning point came with the invention of the Bonsack machine, a mechanical wonder that could roll cigarettes exponentially faster than any human. This breakthrough moment was the catalyst for an empire, as Duke seized the opportunity to mass-produce cigarettes, making them affordable and accessible, and forever changing the way people smoked. But as the clouds of success billowed, so did the dark whispers of the consequences. Doctors began to notice patterns, troubling correlations between smoking and lung diseases. Yet, these early health concerns were like faint murmurs against the roar of a booming industry. The founders, entrenched in their gilded age of growth, chose to push these concerns aside, focusing instead on the joy of their breakthroughs, the expansion of their market share, and the seemingly unending ascent of their profits. It was the American dream realized, but at what cost? In the early days, the tobacco industry was like the Wild West of entrepreneurship, a place where bold ideas could ignite into empires overnight. Picture a young, ambitious James Buchanan Duke, whose father had a modest tobacco company. Duke had a vision that would not only transform his family's business, but also the entire smoking industry. With the invention of the Bonsack machine, the first automated cigarette-making machine, Duke saw his chance. He struck a deal to use this new technology, slashing production costs and leaving competitors in the dust. It was a breakthrough moment, the kind that changes the game and the fortunes of those brave enough to leap. But the road to dominance was paved with challenges. The market was fragmented, with hundreds of small players and no real brand loyalty. Duke's resilience was tested as he embarked on a relentless campaign to consolidate the industry, using cutthroat tactics and strategic partnerships to outmaneuver rivals. It was a ruthless climb to the top, but Duke's tenacity paid off as he formed the American Tobacco Company, creating the first tobacco giant. Yet, with great power came great scrutiny. As the company soared, so did the controversies. Accusations of monopoly practices began to swirl, and the Sherman Antitrust Act loomed large, threatening to dismantle Duke's empire. The founder must have felt the walls closing in, the weight of the world on his shoulders as he faced the biggest challenge yet. Would his empire crumble, or could he navigate through the storm? It was a defining moment, a test of wills, and the legacy of the tobacco industry hung in the balance. In the labyrinth of corporate empires, few industries have woven a narrative as dark and compelling as the tobacco industry. It's a tale of ambition, secrecy, and the relentless pursuit of profit, often at the expense of public health. Picture this: the mid-20th century, a time when smoking was as commonplace as a morning cup of coffee. Cigarettes were the epitome of cool, a symbol of rebellion and sophistication. The founders of these tobacco giants, like the iconic Camel or Marlboro, weren't just selling a product. They were selling a lifestyle, a slice of the American dream wrapped in a thin sheet of paper and ignited with a flick of a lighter. But behind the smoke, there was fire. As the health implications of smoking began to surface, these titans of tobacco faced a moral quandary. The initial idea, so simple, to provide a product for pleasure and relaxation, was now under siege by scientific evidence linking smoking to lung cancer and heart disease. The market challenges were no longer just about competition. They were about survival in an industry accused of selling death. The breakthrough moment, however, was not one of joy, but of strategic resilience. Tobacco companies doubled down on their marketing prowess, targeting new demographics and expanding into emerging markets. They sponsored research to cast doubt on the health risks, fought legislation, and crafted a narrative of doubt and personal choice. Imagine the founders, once proud to see their brands in the hands of Hollywood stars, now grappling with the reality of their legacy. It was a moment of reckoning, a test of their resolve, and a question of ethics that would forever alter the public's perception of the once glorious smoking industry. In the labyrinth of corporate empires, few have woven a narrative as dark and compelling as the smoking industry. It's a tale of resilience, controversy, and the relentless pursuit of profit, often at the expense of public health. The initial spark for the smoking industry was not unlike many other entrepreneurial ventures, a simple idea catching fire. In the early 20th century, cigarettes were a symbol of modernity and freedom, a product that promised pleasure and sophistication. The founders of these tobacco companies, often coming from humble beginnings, saw an opportunity to capitalize on a growing trend. They were pioneers, crafting an industry from the smoke of their ambition. But as the market for cigarettes grew, so did the challenges. The first whispers of the health risks associated with smoking began to surface, casting a shadow over the industry. The founders, now at the helm of thriving empires, were faced with a moral dilemma. They could either acknowledge the risks and potentially watch their life's work crumble, or fight to keep the truth from the public eye. It was a test of their resolve, and many chose the latter, leading to a legacy of manipulation and deceit. The breakthrough moment, however, was not one of joy, but of survival. As evidence mounted and public opinion turned, the industry was forced to pivot. They launched aggressive marketing campaigns, created filtered cigarettes, and even ventured into safer alternatives to traditional smoking. The resilience of these companies was remarkable as they navigated legal battles and societal shifts, always finding a way to keep their embers alight. For aspiring entrepreneurs, the smoking industry serves as a cautionary tale of success and its potential costs, a reminder that the true measure of a brand is not just its market share, but its impact on the world. In the labyrinth of corporate sagas, few are as shrouded in smoke and mirrors as the tobacco industry. It's a tale of resilience, breakthroughs, and dark secrets that have left an indelible mark on society and its entrepreneurs. Picture this: a young, ambitious founder, eyes alight with the prospect of tapping into an insatiable market. The initial idea is simple yet potent: cigarettes, a product that promises allure and sophistication. But beneath the veneer of success, the market challenges are as thick as the smoke that curls from the lips of millions. Health concerns begin to cloud the public's perception, and the industry faces a maelstrom of criticism and legal battles. Yet, in the face of adversity, there's a breakthrough moment. The industry pivots, introducing light and low-tar options marketed as healthier alternatives. It's a masterstroke of rebranding, and for a moment, It seems the tide is turning. The founder, once beleaguered by the looming threats to their empire, now breathes a sigh of relief as sales surge once more. But the joy is short-lived. Investigations reveal that these healthier cigarettes are no less harmful. The founder's moment of triumph crumbles as the truth emerges. It's a sobering reminder that in the cutthroat world of business, the line between success and scandal is perilously thin. The tobacco industry's resilience is tested as it navigates the murky waters of public opinion and accountability, a stark lesson for any aspiring entrepreneur. In the labyrinth of corporate sagas, few are as shrouded in controversy as the smoking industry. It's a tale of resilience, breakthroughs, and dark secrets that have left an indelible mark on history. Imagine the early 1900s, a time when smoking was as common as having a cup of coffee. The founders of these tobacco empires were like alchemists, turning simple leaves into gold. But behind the smoke, there was a relentless pursuit of profit, often at the cost of ethics and human health. One such pioneer, let's call him John, saw not just leaves, but a future painted in the plumes of smoke. His initial idea was simple: cigarettes for the masses, an affordable luxury. But the market was a battlefield, with cutthroat competition and a society blissfully unaware of the health implications. John's resilience was tested time and again as he fought to keep his brand afloat amidst the growing sea of rivals. Then came the breakthrough moment, a stroke of marketing genius that would change everything. John's brand introduced the safety cigarette, claiming reduced health risks, a claim we now know was as hollow as the paper it was wrapped in. But back then, it was a revelation. Sales soared, and John felt the intoxicating rush of success. Yet, as the years rolled by, the joy was overshadowed by mounting evidence of the health crises linked to smoking, a truth that would eventually burn through the industry's veil of secrets. In the labyrinthine corridors of big business, few industries have navigated through smoke and mirrors quite like the tobacco giants. It's a tale of ambition, where the intoxicating scent of success was often laced with the acrid fumes of controversy. Picture this: the early 1900s, a time when doctors would pose in ads, puffing away, claiming cigarettes were beneficial for the throat. It was the golden age for tobacco, a time when the initial idea that smoking was a sophisticated pastime took root. The founders of these tobacco empires, like James Buchanan Duke, were visionaries in their own right, albeit controversially so. Duke's American Tobacco Company became a behemoth, but it was built on the backs of clever marketing and addictive products. The joy in these breakthrough moments must have been palpable, as smoking became an entrenched global habit and fortunes were made. But the market challenges were just over the horizon. As the mid-20th century approached, whispers of health concerns began to echo. The industry's response? Ramp up the charm offensive. They introduced filtered cigarettes, claiming a safer smoking experience. It was a masterstroke of resilience, a way to sidestep growing fears and keep the empire blazing. The founders, now titans of industry, must have felt the pressure, but their response was to innovate, or at least give the illusion of innovation. The real breakthrough moment, however, was bittersweet. It came when internal documents surfaced, revealing that industry executives knew about the dangers of smoking. The resilience of these companies was tested as they faced public outrage and legal battles. The founders, long gone, had left a legacy that was now under siege. Yet the industry persisted, adapting with new markets and products, proving that even in the face of adversity, the will to survive can sometimes outlast the smoke. In the labyrinth of corporate sagas, few are as shrouded in smoke and mirrors as the tobacco industry. Picture this: a young, ambitious entrepreneur, James Duke, with a glint in his eye, not for gold, but for the golden leaf tobacco. He saw not just a crop, but a future stitched in the smoke of success. Duke's breakthrough moment came with the mechanization of cigarette production, a game changer that turned a luxury item into a mass-market product. But the winds of challenge were fierce. As health concerns began to cloud the industry, tobacco titans like Duke faced a moral conundrum. The joy of breakthroughs was tainted by the growing evidence of health risks. Yet, they stood resilient, crafting narratives of doubt around the science, sponsoring research to deflect the blame. It was a dance with danger, where the music of profit played louder than the whispers of conscience. As we delve deeper, we learn that the industry's resilience was not just about weathering storms, but creating them. And for those of you aspiring to build empires, remember, the foundation you choose will define your legacy. So, what will yours be built on? Share your thoughts, hit the like button, and subscribe for more tales of corporate giants. This is Financial Vice, signing off.